Okay, so call this meeting of the Historic District Commission order at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, the 20th of September. I have to appoint, let's see, Ferguson for Moriarty and Goodrich for Brady. Give me a second. No. Okay. Don, would you read the call?
Dear Matt, please publish the following public notice for one insertion on Monday, September 12th, 2022. Town of Groton, notice of public hearing, Historic District Commission. The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, September 20, 2022 at 7 p.m. at the Groton Town Hall Annex, 134 Groton Long Point Road, and virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. HDC 22-54, 42 Cliff Street, Michael Glassfield owner, Kristen Vaughn applicant, Cobblestone Pavers, PIN number 2619183292126, HDC 22-55, 50 West Mystic Avenue, Kirsten Paka, owner applicant, reshingle garage and paved driveway, PIN number 2618052716994, HDC 22-56, 8 Ice House Lane, Lana Citarelli, owner applicant, construct single family dwelling, PIN number 26191700345. A Zoom meeting link will be posted to the town's website meeting calendar or can be attended by visiting www.zoom.us. Webinar ID 858-2508-2065, password 311380, or by phone 1-312-626-6799. Applications are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut, dated this 12th day of September 2022 at Groton, Connecticut. Todd Brady, Secretary. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact Linda Galetta at 860-446-5982.
Roll call?
No.
Roll call. This is 2 on 2. Max
Yep.
Leonard showed up. So you might want to give an announcement who's here, who's not here, so we have it on the record.
How would I do that?
You gotta go down the list.
So what?
The hearing. Yeah, take attendance.
All right.
Goodrich chair.
Evanson here.
Goodman here.
Ferguson here.
Nault here.
Leonard here.
Excellent. So Max is still the only alternate. All right. The hearing procedures are over there, and I'll request to waive them unless anyone objects. But if you want to read them, they're over there. I guess we'll start, right?
Want to make the announcement that there's been a withdrawal plan. And so if anyone's here to
So they're not wasting their time. I don't know if they are or not, but.
On Main Street,
Sure.
West Main.
File right there. See it on the front page of the file, 2 down.
I'll do that one first, I guess. So HDC 22-48, 21 West Main Street. This is the Mariners Roof Edition. They've withdrawn their application. So if anyone's here for that or to contest that, been withdrawn. That one's out of the way.
Do I have to do anything with this?
All right, so the next one is HDC 22-40, 52 Parole Street. This is the driveway.
There's a letter that you might want to read into the record for that.
Okay. Do you want to read it? You're good.
Good evening, Chair Moriarty and members of the HDC. I write to you as a former member of the HDC to ask that you refer to section Roman numeral 243 of the Historic District Handbook when considering the application of 52 Parole Street. While I commend the applicant for making needed improvements to his residence and bear him no ill will, the driveway that he shows as proposed in reality has already been constructed and is 18 feet wide. I suggest the commission consider requiring him to replace the long, narrow planting bed, which was removed a month or so ago to widen the driveway. It was located between the walkway and driveway and can be seen in the before photos. Reinstalling the planting bed to the proper width to bring the driveway back into compliance with 11-foot requirement. As a past member, I am concerned that our historic district guidelines be followed. In this particular instance, the applicant's double width driveway acts as a parking lot. This is clearly not appropriate. If the applicant requires additional parking, the 11-foot driveway can be extended straight ahead into the backyard and connect to his garage. There is no existing driveway connection to the garage at present. The character of our historic district should not be incrementally diminished by property owners who may believe it is better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. I do not impute these as motives by the applicant, but as a general observation of what I have been seeing in the area. Respectfully, Michael Saracen, 27 Gravel Street.
Okay, so I think the last time we asked you for some additional information.
Right, so I believe it was Todd Brady who said, hey, you should, give us some more information regarding the dimensions of the driveway that's now built and some neighboring dimensions. So I did that. I'd love to submit that to the commission.
Was that put in the packet or are we just getting that now?
I was just getting it now. Thank you. I'm sorry about that. So appreciate Michael Sarensen's. I know Michael well, and when we lived full time, we were friends, and I appreciate his letter. I did want to note that the 11 feet is not a requirement, and the commission acknowledged that if it's 11 feet or under, it does not have to appear, and if 11 feet are over, it does have to appear, and that's why I'm sitting here today, hopefully talking about the merits of the application of the driveway, as opposed to looking back and so on and so forth. So walking up and down my block, our block, there's photos that accompany this. The first photo is my house. The mentioned before, the curb cut is 22 feet wide. Oh, yeah. Curb cut is 22 feet wide, and the driveway is just under 19 feet, and that's, so as you can tell, it does not include the granite posts, and it does not include the curb. Okay.
There you go.
So again, it wasn't just removing the green strip, it was the grass, which was tough to mow and had a large maple tree in it and so on and so forth. It was maintaining a bed on the property line, maintaining the bed against the home, and yes, widening what was there. So in going up and down the street again, so 52 Parole is the widest curb cut on this block where I measure these properties. It's 22 feet, and the driveway appropriately so is smaller than that. It's 18 foot long. If you start at the end of the block, which is 6 Parole, that's at on the corner of Parole, and that's a waterfront home. Their curb cut is smaller than mine. It's 19'4". Their driveway is 17'4" wide. If you go to Craig and Amy Bush's home, our next door neighbors, their curb cut it's pretty interesting. Their curb cut is smaller than the actual driveway, so their curb cut is 15'9", and the driveway gets wider. Note that where it meets the sidewalk, their driveway is 18'10". I'm not trying to. It does become a single wide driveway as you go back. The typical driveway in the neighborhood it's a much sharper turn. This is a long, subtle turn. So measuring from where the driveway meets the sidewalk, our neighbors, Craig and Amy, they're 18'10". I'm going down the block. Our house, obviously, then 50 Parole Street. That curb cut is 11 feet wide, and the driveway itself is 1 foot wider. So that's 12 foot wide. The next property is a very small home, very small driveway. It is the only driveway that's under 11 feet on our block. And the curb cut is 11 feet. Their driveway is 8'6", 46 Pearl, 17'6" curb cut, 17-foot wide driveway. Then walking around the block, you have, I noted a couple other driveways which were more than single wide. This is again on our same block. One park place is 33 feet wide, two park places 46 feet wide, 5 Eldridge is 25 feet wide. They've gone there. So what I'm hoping, what I'd like to point out and to the commission is that this was Google Maps image of the 3-foot green strip where a maple tree was planted right behind us. This was in front of the curb cut. So it was very hard to try into the city, the town curb cut into a bit. And I walked many blocks around the neighborhood, a couple in each direction, and couldn't find any other examples of a raised bed like this being inside of a curb cut. So I know I can't make the curb cut smaller. I have not moved the granite post bases here. Those have not moved. And if I just don't see, in my humble opinion, I'm not quite sure what, as Michael Sorensen noted, what this 3-foot strip does for the fabric of the historic fabric of the district, of the neighborhood, knowing that 11-foot driveways and smaller are don't apply if they're over. And I'm here saying we're here to review that again. It wasn't a case of getting as wide a driveway as possible. And I'd love to get 2 more cars off of the street on Parole Street. It was working off of what artifacts were there, waypoints were there, and those were the granite bases and the curb cut for the town.
Ms. Chung, can I ask how you measured these driveways, what you used?
Yeah, I use a 25-foot tape measure in person.
Because I went there Sunday and I heel to toe pasted. I didn't bring a tape measure. And I'm kind of curious because some of your numbers are off of mine. I mean, Claire, you're a little more.
I am a licensed architect. I'm pretty good at measuring, not to sound fresh. I guarantee these are all within an inch. And I'll be happy that's why I supplied the photos.
Okay.
And I just wanted to show exactly, we can go through each one. I can show you where I measured from.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to be upfront. It's up to these guys. The curb cut means absolutely nothing to me because curb cuts are wider. So you have turn-ins to come in.
Sure.
So I think the curb cut, I appreciate you're trying to make your case, but to me, it's kind of a nothing point because curb cuts are always wider than the driveway. It's otherwise you don't own a tire shop in Mystic and be a very wealthy man if they were, straight on.
I thought it was wider if you trust my measurements.
Right, but I mean, my house, my curb cut's essentially wider than my driveway. My parents' house is the same. I think most people here would concur with that.
I just wanted to point out the width of the driveways in my district. So you can see those there, and those are plus or minus a half an inch for relative margin. Those are as accurate as I know how to measure.
So I'll give you my position, my measurements. We'll split hairs our measurements here. Driveway is 30% wider than most of the ones in the district, and I don't think it fits. Had you come to this commission before you did it, and I was sitting here, I would not have heard it.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate it, but I also it was clear to me where you stood based on the day of the week that the work happened and having been a fan of this application from the beginning. I appreciate your stance and fully respect that. I'm here on the merit of the case. I'm showing the width of my neighboring driveways to try and establish context for wider than 11 feet driveways on my block. There is one on my block that's less than 11 feet. Just wanted to point that out.
Sure.
So I appreciate you hearing my possession.
Absolutely. In all fairness, I'm trying to do it on the merits, which is why I pasted out on Sunday.
Right.
And I'll go through my data, 56 probably paste out, heel to toe 14 paces, 54, 14 paces, yours 20 paces, 50 paces, 48, 9 paces, and 40, 14 paces. Again, if we go 14 to 20, that's roughly 30% larger. I don't find.
These are my notes for measuring with an actual tape measure.
I trust you.
I give you my word for dimensions. Trust me, these will be double checked and triple checked.
I have my hand up.
Go for it, Bonnie.
I want to appreciate you getting that data. I didn't measure, but I went up and down Pearl Street. I live on Pearl Street. There's about 36 driveways. I think that's, I didn't do an exact count, about that many up and down Pearl Street. I counted 5 driveways that didn't have double garages or in the back, and 2 of the ones you presented tonight are double garage driveways. That 5 that didn't have the double garage or weren't tenant, like 4-unit apartments, or for instance, the Episcopal church or the funeral home, whose driveways are wider because they're commercial spaces. 5 single-family residents that had more, and I didn't measure, but more than 1 car width driveway. And that is one of them, definitely. 56 Pearl. The Craig's right next door that you pointed out, it's wider at the end, but it's a single car driveway. And that one has a double car garage. So, and I just think if this had come before the commission, and I got a text from Todd, if there was some misunderstanding of something I said at the last meeting, I'm not for disapproving anything because it didn't have an application. So if I gave that impression, I want to clear that up. I think you have to vote on the merits of the vote. And I don't think that this wide driveway for 2-car width is in keeping with this Pearl Street. And I wouldn't have voted for it if you had come in person. It's a perfectly fine looking driveway. It just isn't in character with Pearl Street.
Thank you. It was important to me to measure and get accurate measurements so the commission could see what without pacing anything off, without going all the way towards Main Street, et cetera. That was important to me to document my block, and that those numbers are in front of you.
There's a lot of houses on your block that don't have any driveway.
Right, the 2 across the street don't have driveways, for example.
Yeah, those lots go block to block, front to back. They have vehicular access off the rear property line of those properties.
Correct.
That's the reason I did measurement.
So. I rarely agree with Bonnie. However, I was walking around actually Saturday morning and I turned to walk down from there. And I agree with what she's saying. The majority of the driveways appear single width or smaller driveways. I think you did a nice job. I'm curious why, or which is irrelevant, but why you got a Massachusetts asphalt contractor to work on a Sunday morning, but I think that's strange.
I apologize. I addressed that 2 meetings ago. My neighbors wrote a letter about that fact, and I apologize for hiring someone from Massachusetts despite owning property in Connecticut. I have no control, and I'll again apologize on the record for working on a Sunday. And I would love to have the commission look at the driveway, and please look at my notes, which I documented very well at the request of the commissioner, and hopefully state a reasoning for why the driveway was built, why that strip was removed. And again, it was I appreciate it.
I think the driveway looks nice, but I do agree with Bonnie, which is the majority of driveways. And yeah, the majority of driveways on Parole Street appear to be single lane driveways. So I think,
Was that the photos one more time?
I walked around, I live on Roland Street, so I'm not that far.
Okay.
I also appreciate that you want to get multiple cars off the street and set to Sarah's point when she was there last week, getting more cars off the driveway, off the road when we have limited parking downtown is great. But you have so much room. I'm so jealous of the amount of property length you have. You could probably fit 6 or 7 cars back to the back of your property. If you had just extended it, you could fit a ton of cars down that driveway if it was extended to your garage back there. I
Right,
can
that
maximum.
that
and
design
2.5.
suggestion was made by, right, no, I hear you. That design suggestion was made by Michael Sorensen also, and we're here with this design, and like I said, we have a dog and like to keep as much of our yard and 3 kids as well. So it was about keeping the beds on each side of the property line and the home and removing that foot bed, which I have no idea a strip of grass could do so much for the fabric, the historic fabric of the district. I'm surprised and I hope that I hope that we can arrive at an approval tonight, but
My only thing is that you have several letters from neighbors against it. You don't have anything supporting it. So clearly the neighbors feel the same way and they all live here.
right,
So, and they live here and I live here and
right.
these guys live here. So I kind of see the point, which is like, it doesn't really fit compared to the other ones, but I think if you'd come, like maybe if you'd come ahead of time and talk to your neighbors and maybe gotten some letters of support or something, it would feel a little better. But I think even on the merits, I agree with you guys. At this point.
This is Max. I don't think that losing this bed and this strip of grass really takes away from the historical value or, the historic essence of the home, regardless of whatever's going on with the other driveways on the street. And I think it is nice if you're able to take more cars off of the side of the road there.
I mean, I don't think the house is, no offense, particularly historic. I mean, it's like stucco.
Well,
It's in 1852.
I was gonna say it's 4 square, so it's gotta be, yeah.
Yeah, our neighbor's house was built in 1998. This is built in mid 1800s.
I'm torn about it. I don't know.
I actually agree with Max. I think the driveway is an improvement. I don't think the grass strip is particularly attractive, and I think what is constructed there now is actually more attractive than what was there before. And again, also Sarah's point about getting cars off the street.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Let's get cars off the street though, in all fairness. And I think that's our purview, first of all. But second of all is, I was there at 2 o'clock on a Sunday, except the Jag across the street. I was the only car on the street, so I don't think he gets a lot of parking issues down his end of the Parole Street. I mean, when I turned to downtown,
It's a seasonal issue. You're right.
when I turned downtown, it was packed, somebody walked right in front of me,
Exactly.
your part of the street was empty, so. Although we all know parking is an issue in downtown Missouri, I think it's sort of a moot point in this particular
It
case.
is a moot point down there, and I live in the block closer to downtown, and I hardly, just this year, I'm starting to have cars park out front. Very rarely, with the exception of the art show and big events, we have that many parking issues down in this area.
Well, so let's just get to the crux of it is, forget the parking issues. It was done without a permit. It's over 11 feet. The neighbors don't think it fits in. Some commission members don't think it fits in. Others think it do. We're gonna keep talking in circles.
Well, my only question, and I'm trying to drive a solution. That's in my, I think it looks great, but I also don't like rules. rule follower. So I am wondering if, and I'm just throwing this out for a slight discussion, if you'll allow it, Eric. What if you just made it a single entrance driveway and put like a flower bed? I'm just gonna pick the left side of the driveway. So it's a single, and make that flower bed go 4 feet, I'm just picking a number, 5
Sure.
feet in. And so your driveway is 11 feet. And then you just, when you pull in, you pull to the left, and if one car, the other car pulls in,
Sure.
and
Right.
you could still, I mean, I'm not, that's, I don't know. I
Those
feel
are
for you for what you've done. It doesn't look terrible. It's not
I
an
appreciate it.
atrocity, but rules are rules, and
I
there's a process
understand.
for a reason, and I would like to make that recommendation to you, so that, I mean, I don't know, that's just my,
Oh, I appreciate it. It's that the width of the driveways up and down the block, for example, the bushes, as it approaches the street is, as I mentioned, 18, as it touches the sidewalk, it's over 18 feet, 18'9". I think it's quickly, it becomes a single lane. It's over, my guesstimate would be over 6 or 8 feet. It becomes a single lane. And then back in front of their garage, it becomes a 3-foot wide, 3-car wide driveway. So these driveways vary. You know, so I just wanted to note that I appreciate it. It's,
think if you want to make your neighbors happy, you want to make yourself happy, you just make a single entrance that after the number, I don't know, tell you what, but at
Right.
4 feet, 5 feet,
Sure.
it becomes double wide.
Right.
And then
So I have some questions on that. What's the town's position on how far that would have to be under 11 feet to fit in our, I haven't read that part of it to know the answer.
It's on 11 feet, it's out of your purview for.
Right, but what's that lengthwise? An inch, 10 feet, 4 feet?
good point. In my opinion, it's not noted.
Yeah, it's not noted.
Yeah. So exactly. So it becomes,
Discretionary.
right.
We can come up with we can pick a number.
yeah, we can make a recommendation.
What's the size of it?
At least maybe 1 car length back, because as long as there aren't 2 cars parked right out the curb, which is what I think is in keeping with the street, is 1 car at the ends of the driveway. That would be better, in my opinion.
So 1 car length's roughly what, 10 feet?
No,
Not 18, yeah, 16, 18. What's his parking?
I should know that I worked on cars and I got that wrong.
So what's a legal parking space?
I was gonna
9 by
say,
18?
but I'm willing to go less than.
Well, it wouldn't have to be a full car length, as long as you couldn't fit another car next to it.
I don't want it to be a foot. You know, I can't-
What's the length of your driveway, Mr. Young?
going north of-
I'm thinking a couple minutes.
Sure.
I guess the question, are you interested in entertaining, you'd have to amend your application. Basically, the context that's been suggested.
It's a good question. I felt like Commissioners Brady and Moriarty they also did not see the historical significance of that 3-foot strip. And I feel like the vote, taken last week could have gone a different direction from which it's headed tonight. So that's a very good question. It's, the practicality of it, putting the bed in front of a curb cut is again, I just don't see how what this is doing for the district or not doing. That concerns me, but let me find the depth of the driveway here.
Well, Commissioner, I'll be very upfront with you again. I don't think it's in keeping with your neighborhood. That's my opinion.
They were very clear. I totally appreciate that. Thank you.
Looks like you did some work to restore the granite on the right side of the driveways too, as well, so.
Those were salvaged. Yeah, thank you. Those were an existing bed liners. That's just gonna reuse.
Well, you don't need to look at it because the reality is you got a truck parked there and you got more than that parking spot behind you. So if you want to just make it 11 feet wide and take a car spot, so it does this.
That's my recommendation.
I would support that as long as it's
That-
And we recommend a
part is
dimension for
11.
that.
That part is 11, right? Just,
This would be,
and then
and this would be 18 and it could swoop.
Yeah.
It
just
functions.
do a, yeah, just do a feng shui. purpose to it.
Can you show me what you're talking about, please?
So keep the curb cut at 11.
Can you just move it back a little bit or towards, yeah, there you go.
So
Okay.
keep the curb cut at 11 feet. Make the depth of this swoop 18 feet. And then I would say bring it back, I don't know, to make that work, 10 feet. And then just-
I'd vote for that.
Yeah, I would vote for to approve that also.
So Ferguson recommended 4 or 5 feet,
No,
which would work for us. I mean, that would
I said,
work.
it was an arbitrary number. I do not.
All I'm doing is,
No, I'm not voting.
all I'm doing is eliminating this parking space, which is what everyone seems to be concerned about. The fact that the double wide. So all I've done is just taken your driveway and made it into essentially 4, which is what I'm assuming it is.
Sure. Yeah, it's somewhere. I don't want to say it because I'll be fact checked by my neighbors. It's
No, well, I mean,
it's
close,
approximately, it's approximately, you can see the, with the data, it's approximately 2 feet. You're right.
right, so if it's 40 feet by 20 feet, bring it down to 11, make it 10 feet, come in straight and then swoop it back. And you still get 3 parking spaces out of it.
And just to be clear, the commission does not govern what landscaping materials we use there. So I just want to be clear because I see where this is going. I want to make sure that, so can the commission tell me I have to plant grass?
No,
I don't think.
Okay.
We don't, yeah.
Okay, so
no, you can plant whatever you want there.
do I have to plant it?
Yeah. That's what
Does
they're
have to be
saying.
planted.
That's what they're saying here is that they don't want it as bluestone or something.
I just don't want a car parked there.
I would feel comfortable, there's no hardscaping. I would want that. And as
Return
a-
back to planting.
What were you thinking of planting there, Mr. Young? What did you have in mind when you asked the question?
On the 2 beds that are existing, I was planning on boxwoods, seagrasses, et cetera. But it does have to be planting, so. Okay,
That's what they're saying. If you want to try to, if you want to.
What did you have in mind?
Hardscape, then
I mean, there's a lot of creative, there's a lot of creative ways to. I guess we should,
your neighbors seem to be really upset about the fact you're removing this. My suggestion is to make everyone happy. Including the 2 commission members that feel much stronger than I do about this, but I agree with, just turn it back into a landscape.
But what would you propose other than landscaping? If you went with this general idea?
I just want it to be flush. I don't want people to pull over the flowers and the grasses because the curb cut, which the curb cut is a valid point in my opinion. The curb cut tells people where they can pull on their property.
Yeah, but you got your own pictures. No one pulled over.
The curb cut was there before you took it out, Mr. Young, and you didn't complain to
I didn't
anybody.
take a curb cut out.
No, I'm saying before you lengthened your driveway, the curb cut was still there.
Right now. It was, no, it was
16-year-old new driveway.
the car doors hit it. It was constantly being hit. So I definitely want the raised bed there.
I would just take the granite from the other side and just make that. Okay. Well, what do you want?
Next step would be revising the plans and coming back.
No, I think we're saying. We can just-
And you're okay, we can amend your application tonight and vote on it if you want.
I think, or does, yeah, I think he has to come back with a new one.
Yeah.
Every time it's.
Yeah.
I mean, man, I think the more time you waste or when you go to, you may get different commission members, but you're also likely to get more neighbors that start to really ask for it. And you're gonna tear it up.
There's a lot, this boils down to a town-wide concern over short-term rentals, and it's a very hot. So we used to live here full-time. It was our full-time residence, and since we are no longer doing that, we have rented our house out. Some seasons, frankly, and we haven't in over almost a year because we had a really bad pipe. However, this you'll find is that if you analyze those letters, in my humble opinion, They're actually zoning issues. They're zoning concerns. They're not a set of concerns of that bed and of the, that's just my opinion. I know that may vary. That's my opinion. I have a lot to say on record if I need to regarding our neighbors and the relationship. I hope I'm trying to be a good neighbor and trying to improve our property. So
Really had no bearing on anything by the young short-term rentals and
Well, I made
No, he's saying-
the point though that the Mariner came the first time. And no one, except for the two of us, spoke up against it. The second time, a bunch of people showed up. The third time, even more would have showed up, they didn't withdraw the application. All I'm saying here is you have one letter, now you have two letters. We can amend it to this. I think we should. Okay. And put it to bed if you're okay with it. If you don't, and you want to come back,
You're saying that that's your recommendation, that he come back, or?
we can just draw it on the picture.
You guys comfortable with amending it?
We can draw this.
if Mr.
Yes,
Young's
I-
comfortable with it, I'm
Just
comfortable
say-
with it.
For the applicant, I am against your driveway in the current state. I am not against Airbnb, just for the record. I think they are great. I fully
I was
support.
gonna say, I've spoken on the record about short-term rentals at town council meetings. My opinion's well known, and I'm not necessarily against them either, so.
Just remember, you're in a public hearing right now, you're not voting.
Right.
Technically, you're not.
It's your house. You can do what you want with it. That's my opinion, except
You
for
just
HDC has guidelines.
and you agree with it, and you just make this a granite curb, similar to the other side, 6 inches tall, no cars are gonna, doors are gonna hit whatever, and just plant this. Just make the change. and come with it. If you
Right.
don't wanna, do this,
um,
if you don't wanna do this, and you wanna come back, that's your choice.
no, I did not document the width of the old driveway. If you were to look from here to that curve, my gut tells me based on scaling and looking at this, that was wider than 11. So I just don't have a good, I didn't do a good exhibition with that.
So you're saying you want to go back to this?
I'd love to know where that was.
What do you think it is? You're an architect, you got a good eye,
Right.
but throw a number at us.
Well, and there are some driveways that are wider than 11, but they're still single car. And I'd be okay with that too in this particular case, just as long as it's not a 2-car width at the end.
Driveway on our block less than 11 feet. There's one out of 6.
Find out from Linda. I don't know exactly what the timeline on when you submitted.
What's the information for that?
Regarding continuances.
Continuances, 45 days. 45 days.
Linda and I spoke of it briefly. I believe it's either tonight or the next meeting. It's very close.
So you're saying if he doesn't get it resolved, then it's over? Yeah.
Peter, on the front of the file, Peter, is the deadline for the decision.
Oh, excellent, thank you.
922, so it's gotta go.
What do you think that existing driveway width is?
I would, this walk here, it was approximately 3 feet. That's the dimension of the new walk. That to me looks like 4-ish, 4 or 5. Looking at it upside down, let me look at another.
Looks like 4 or 5, 4 to me. So if you took that off
Wait a
of
minute. We're gonna be able to figure it out. I just realized that.
18, it'd be like 13 feet or something like that.
Oh, so here we go. So if you look at, so these granite blocks did not move. This one moved like a half an inch. It's either 36 or 42, so I don't want to say. Again, this is gonna get scrutinized. So these two, the width of these 2 blocks did not change, and that's what set the width of the bluestone. Okay, so if we look at this block here, this granite block is in that bed.
Okay,
So it looks like, 2 to 3 feet beyond this post was the outdoor.
If you use that as a scale, that makes that only like 9.
What is this now?
I use this as 36 inches. That makes that 9.
Well, that's in perspective. You're looking away. This is a good, if these posts didn't move, this one moved like less than an inch. The driveway contractors hit it. But these are 99% where they've been for hundreds of years. If you look at this square post here, that's actually in the curb bed. You can see that. You see the photo I'm talking about?
So you're
Yeah.
thinking your bed was 4 feet and what?
Yeah, I'm thinking it looks like it's 3 feet maximum past this outside edge of the curb, which would then give us. What I'd like to do is hopefully match what was there, making sure that it's not a double wide car parking opportunity. I'd like to match that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but the standard parking space is 9 feet. So what
Right.
you're saying is just make it 2 extra feet. Still reduces it to 1 car. Just make it 11, or unless you want to propose 12, I mean, fine, whatever. But,
Right. Since we have bikes, we're an active family, and so it's not about.
Maybe it
parking.
would be the best interest for the withdrawal, come back with the actual.
Well, so, I'll tell you what I was gonna propose. I didn't,
With data about what the original was and where it was, and actually do some more research on
assuming your measurements are correct, which I'm gonna assume.
Yes.
The average driveway width in your neighborhood is 15 feet.
Okay.
So the commissioners are good with it. I would consider an entrance of between 14 and 15 feet fair. It's in keeping with his neighborhood by taking an average.
Sure.
You won't be the biggest, you won't be the smallest.
Yeah.
And then you do, and it's like all you want, and then you do the curve into the bigger.
So do it 14 feet, bring it in 10, and then make it curve back so that the start of the swoop to the curb
Sure.
to the,
So there's 10 feet of straight curbing.
yeah, it's 18 feet. That's one
Okay.
parking space.
it. I think that suggestion would probably be best is that the commission does not obviously like the width the way it is, that it's too much area coverage for that driveway. You're requesting him if he would be willing to withdraw and come back and submit a different proposal showing us with the landscaping and reducing that size. I would suggest he comes back with another application depicting that for you to look at and make a determination based on that.
I would agree with that because.
Well, I'd agree
You're
too,
not
but
agreeing with
I
the-
don't know
you're not
why
agreeing with the proposal
we
now.
could, well, I don't know, we could approve it with it.
I should get it done.
Me too. I appreciate that.
And
I
so am I. I'm
mean,
trying
this
to.
is like the fifth,
I appreciate it.
fourth meeting, I think.
I'm gonna be a jerk and say, I want to get it done, but I want to get it done right. I want to get it done so that there's no confusion. We have measurements that are in front of us that as you're a
Yeah.
developer, I'm not taking anything away from your skill set or anything, but that picture is not,
But all
would
I'm,
not pass muster for any other application that comes before the board.
except that these measurements are finite. So whatever the depth is, whatever the width is past that thing,
But
it doesn't matter.
Right.
I guess I wanna know, like, from an architect's point of view, looking down, I wanna make sure that curve is, a gentle curve and not like a straight line. You know what
Sure.
I'm saying?
Sure.
And I'm not saying
Yeah,
anything. ill
I can
towards
tell you after walking the block, each driveway is different. Some are a curve over 12
Very
feet.
accurate, we're on the record,
Mhm.
we're an institution. And I'm sorry you have to come one more week, but
Do you care though if it's swooped or if it's hexagonal or whatever? I just care that this gets reduced and it comes in. to the mouth. If he wants to make this a quick radius or a longer radius, I mean, as long as he comes in 10 feet and makes it a radius, he can't change.
I don't even care if he did a right angle. I mean, it's his design at that point. I'll be honest with you.
right
Yeah,
Me
that would help
too.
with the
I
color.
don't think it matters.
Make it straight. So come in 10 feet, turn on a right angle and just make this 18 feet.
So that number is finite. 18.
This is gonna be fixed. If you start it,
Okay,
If you start from
if we're
here-
gonna be very rigid on the fix, and that's fine, now I see what you're saying, I just wasn't
Yeah,
unclear.
so if he comes over 14, he's then gonna continue back 10 feet. And then 45 back to an 18-foot depth.
45 or 90.
However you want your yard to look, I'm good with. I'm just trying to.
That's not 90.
Not, sorry, 45. Can't
45.
be 90. Then you gotta go all the way back.
That's my
18.
fear, that's my fear, is that it's gonna be nice.
Got it. Okay.
Well, we can just establish that right now. So,
So
I don't
45.
care if he does a 90-degree angle, he won't be able to turn in there, but he could back up. I mean, as long as it's not out at the street, if it's 10 foot back, 14 feet wide, he can do whatever he wants past that, as far as I'm concerned.
honestly, and that'll allow me some leeway. So let's document that. I can even sketch it or sign it and hopefully put it to bed.
And the other caveat I wanted that it is a planting bed, not stone.
Okay.
Yeah. If the other commissioners agree, you agree.
10 feet. and they go
Yeah, but
90.
if he's got a 6-inch curb, even if it's bluestone, cars would have to go over the curb, park on the bluestone. It's over the
Yeah,
curb.
but it just seems like all these people are really about the planting. Like, I don't- I just-
There's 2 beds, they really want 3 beds back.
Yeah, okay, 5%. It was a curb, but you gotta add that into the curb.
My suggestion would be about 45 because it's gonna be, you're gonna have less of a chance of getting caught in that corner.
Sure. All right. It'll be a short one. Entrance. 10 feet back from there and to establish that that's a planting bed.
The audio is hard to hear. I don't know what's going on.
You mind speaking up just a little bit? Mr. Chairman?
Sure, so where we're at now, Bonnie, it's a 14-foot entrance,
That's way better.
straight back at 10 feet. A 6-inch curb on that bed, which is being created, and then that bed becomes a planting bed. It's planted, whether it's grass, it's a log, it's some, no hardscape.
Well, I mean, I'd like it to be a planting bed. I don't care if he has a raised bed thing because now he's paved underneath it. In lieu of having to dig all that up, he could put like something above on it. I'd be okay with that, but I don't
Yeah, but
know. I'm not trying
The
to be,
neighbors are saying plants. I'm saying plants. John's saying plants. I think
okay,
we're all coming.
okay, I'll say plants too. That's
All
fine.
right, so I'm just gonna draw this and then we can, whatever. So this is gonna be 14 feet. We're gonna come back 10 feet. Then we're doing the 45 or no?
I think we're leaving that open. I don't know what would, yeah, I think that would,
So we're just gonna,
yeah, if we need it, and I decided to do a 45, but that 10 feet is what's gonna control not having 2 cars parked on the street or at the street.
this becomes plants.
And someone can memorialize this decision regarding at the end or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
This is a 6-inch granite curb.
You can even take this thing and you can initial it.
yeah,
That's what I was gonna do.
yeah. Really, there's 4 items. There's a 14-foot entrance, there's a 10-foot.
Planting bed
Right,
on the left side.
right angle to the street, right? And
No,
then
no less than.
no less than 10 feet, right? And then a 6-inch curb. Okay,
And I think that solves,
yeah,
so I think you should do a 45, but I don't,
I'm not,
just,
well, this is here, should you have the,
Can I see the drawing? Can you
Yeah, we'll
pull it
put it
towards
up, you
you,
see the minute.
Steve?
sure.
I'll go back towards you.
Back to you, yeah.
So
Towards-
we're gonna go 14 feet wide.
Oh,
We're
there.
gonna bring the
Okay.
planting bed back 10 feet. And then he's gonna return it to the bluestone and make it all plant. And there's gonna be a 6-inch curb at a 90 and then this way. So the entrance will only be 14
She
feet.
might even not do it 9, he might decide 45.
Right,
Right.
yeah, or a subtle curve or something, I just don't know. Today's the 20th,
That's good with me. I'm good with that.
thank you.
Technically, we're gonna discuss this in
I
votes.
I appreciate it, okay,
Yeah, that's right. We're not voting right now.
correct, thank you,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
thank you. Yes,
Are you gonna stay?
it seems like a short evening. Running the agenda.
Well, we never know, but.
Yeah, because
We thought last week it was this year.
I would recommend you stay.
HTC 20. Does anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Or anyone who would like to speak against this application? Anyone care? No. Okay. HTC 22-40 is closed. All right, I'm gonna recuse myself from this one because Cody's not here to present it. HTC 22-44, 9 Parole Street. I'm gonna have to run this. I'm gonna go.
You have to appoint Max?
I will appoint Max for me. So. What you had wanted was some pictures of the front of the house. It's hard. And pictures of the back of the house. Which is what I got for you. I mean, this is just one small photo. So. This is dormers that were originally or done a couple years ago. This is the original peak of the house, and this is all the original house. This dormer on the back, which none of this you can actually see from the street, but we'll talk about it anyways, was done at some point in the 80s. And then this is all the original house.
When was the house originally built, Eric?
1886, I think, within a year, a couple of years. So what I want to do is take this top of this garage off and add a third bedroom to the house. Because my girlfriend lives with me now and she works from home, so we just don't have enough space. In doing so, you just asked about the height. So currently it's 16 feet on the garage to the peak. If we take this section off to do those dormers, which I'll show on the second page, it would increase the height to 20 feet 6 inches, which here's the existing. And here's where it comes across, kind of midway between this dormer that was added. If we take it, if we go to the, we're gonna gain that 4.5 feet. And that's really in this section and this section, because the existing is framed with 2x6s, both here and here. So we have to go to TJIs and 2x12s up here. So that's almost 2 feet between this and this. But you'll see it goes from approximately here to here. So you're talking about that much difference. The width is the same, the bottom's the same, except we go from a big door to one single door. Because that's where the stairs come up. All this is all existing. It doesn't change.
Connector is there now too.
This is all there, yep, on the front and the back.
When was the garage added to the house?
I think in the 70s or 80s. Definitely no, not before that, but maybe the early 90s, but I don't know. And then your only question, Bonnie, on the windows, just Peter rendered it wrong, so there would be 6/6 to match everything else. They're just casements with a simulated check rail, so they will look like double hungs. But again, none of the back you can see from the street. But this, everything here, the outdoor shower, the bottom of the garage, all of this is all existing.
There's no windows in the front that are new.
We put 2 windows in the front of the dormer right here.
Then
Just
with the
door
door used to be 2 about down below.
And this window's new, correct, yeah. Whereas this garage door did come across. That's a full garage door here. So basically, we're just eliminating that side and putting a little window so the stairs can come up in here. But again, the key part is the width, the depth, all that's still staying the same. It just comes from here to approximately here.
Windows.
That's all in there. Yeah. Everything is matching what there is there now. It's all solid wood trim. It's cedar clapboard. And they're all Marvin Elevate windows.
That little window, that's like the same as the one that's on the side right now? On the side of the garage?
Yeah.
Are those shingles? It looks like shingles up above. No, in the new,
So it would
in the
match.
new dormer.
Yeah, it's cedar shake up on this section.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, you said,
Well, I just want to point, so the flat part of the dormers on the house, all cedar flat. It's just the peak, the gables that are cedar shake. That's here, that's on this side, and then on the back, that's all cedar shake on So we're just matching that look coming down.
I don't see any material description.
They were there last week.
What's the height inside that, new room?
Because I was reading it.
Is it, you have to make it that high? It would look better if it was a little bit lower.
Well, it's height. Well,
Just to match the height on your existing dormer. You know, if it was the same height as that other dormer, I think it would look better. But if you don't have enough headroom,
dormer is here, and the height of the dormer is.
I can't, for some reason you're gargled. I can't hear what you're saying.
So the dormer is here. Dormer up how higher the dormer is.
I think what Bonnie's saying is because the
Right. The
Yeah,
problem
that the height, the height, the peak of the new room. The peak.
I can't. Right. The issue is I can't code-wise get enough insulation in the attic or in the roof, and I can't get TJIs of the right size without extending that height up.
But we did have a material with our agenda packet, by the way. The material was in the agenda packet. I don't know, but we got it electronically.
The original.
So here's what I'm gonna say, my guess about anything about his house is that it started as a center house. And it's been added on to it, so it's been added over time, which frankly, is common. Right, so I think that house tells the story of its history of being added on to garages in the 70s, 80s edition. And I actually think it kind of fits the rest of the house on it. So I think well.
Peter, I don't know what's going on with the audio, but it's really spotty.
It would be maybe if possible to get the proper headroom and the stairs if I was to because of the difference in height. But I personally would find it and Peter's rendering that bad. Because if try to get more spaces.
Hey, Max, can you hear or is it just my audio?
No, it's pretty spotty, but yeah, if there's discussion being had right now, I don't hear it.
Okay.
Is the mic under some paperwork or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't hear a thing. Where did everybody go?
All right, I'm back.
You want this in too, or is that sure?
We're
I
step in
couldn't-
and say,
Max and I couldn't hear a lot of what you said.
Sure. At 7:59, I'm jumping back in. Max, you're promoted, unseated. Sorry. HTC 22-52 Eldridge Street. This is John and Carolyn. For creative closures.
Those are the only people online.
No, the panel's right here, he's there, Matt. is Right
Yep.
there.
How are you today?
Good.
Good.
Thanks for having us.
Do you have the ability to present?
Yeah, I think you guys have a packet, correct?
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to share, because you could share screen if you wanted to, if you had it set up.
I do not have it set up. I'm sorry. I figured, you guys would have that and we could kind of discuss it.
We do, we just had somebody to sit there and, oh, yeah, you wanted to work on that.
Eat first.
So,
The brain teaser. No, I love it. It's like a nice challenge.
Thank you for that.
But you're doing it plainly.
Yeah, so all we're doing here is replacing the existing windows. What they currently have are, they have storm windows, aluminum storm windows, and then the old wooden windows behind them. And we are replacing them with a vinyl custom-made window to mimic the existing window. It'll have a dimensional colonial grid pattern to match exactly what's in that one. That's an oriel window, which has a small sash down below, a larger sash up top. That's how those two windows will be. The remaining windows will be exactly, the grid patterns will all match, but the storm windows will go away. We won't modify, I'm sorry, we will not modify the exterior casings or the interior casings at all. The shutters will all remain. The siding is going to remain, which is aluminum siding. Actually, the windows that you guys approved a couple months back in the addition that we're planning for the back is the same manufacturer, the same grid pattern and everything.
Are they applied grills?
No, they are between the glass. And it is a dimensional grid, which means, it's not just a square grid, it's a dimensional grid. I don't know exactly how many, but it's dimensional. I don't know how else to explain that.
Windows in total? How many windows
sorry?
in total? How many windows?
I think it's, I'm sorry, God, I should know that. 2, 4. It's not the upstairs, it's just the downstairs. We're not doing the upstairs.
13, does 13 sound about correct?
Hey, Zach, are you on? Do you know? Oh, I thought one of my other guys was on.
Zach Bruce raised his hand. Yeah.
13 sounds like more than what we're doing. I want to say it's about 10 or 11.
The order ticket says 13. That's why.
Zach Hughes is right there.
Oh, it does say 13? Oh, it is
Zach, yours?
13. It's 13. I'm being texted that it is 13. Thank you, Zach.
Why didn't you go with an applied grill?
Question asked.
Because, I'm sorry.
The question you asked was, why no applied grill? Why did you not go with an applied grill?
An applied grill would mean a standard size window, which would require modification of the openings to meet with the size that is provided by the manufacturer.
I believe you said these are custom windows.
They are custom made.
And it's what we approved and that you're using in the back. addition.
Correct. That's correct.
So-
Same manufacturer, same grid, same, we're making those custom as well.
You're taking out a wood window and replacing it with a vinyl window with a grill between the glass.
That's correct.
Lost.
And we're taking out the aluminum storm windows that are on this home that has aluminum siding.
Yep.
We've approved these in other places. I don't have any problem with it. We've actually approved it on this house.
I'm not a fan personally, but I don't like replacing vinyl with wood with vinyl, but I mean, I'm the guy having all my 12 reglazed as we speak, so maybe I'm a little crazy.
In that mission thing from last meeting said to leave the aluminum and put the wood, remember?
Right, that's my feeling. And it's tough because we've already approved it for the addition, but you make them, use a word loosely, a mistake, you keep making mistakes, things already got aluminum siding on it. At what point are we just, it's a 1790s house, I think it deserves some protecting.
I'd be fine with a vinyl window or a vinyl clad window if it just had an applied grill. Or like a simulated divided light.
I don't have any problem with what he's proposing. I think that change the opening of the house is much more of a project.
You could just get it.
He's saying the openings, he'd have to adjust these openings.
Just get it. Anyway. Okay, anyone else? Do you have anything else?
No, I don't.
Anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Anyone like to speak against? All right, HTC 2254, 42 Cliff Street. This is installed cobblestone pavers.
Thank you, folks.
Here.
Yeah. There. The outfit.
Kristen Vaughn.
Someone here representing Kristen Vaughn
Kristen Glassfield.
or Kristen Glassfield?
Glassfield.
On Parole Street, Michael Glassfield, owner Kristen Vaughn.
I did not hear, so.
Make a motion to continue HTC 22-54.
Second,
All in favor? Goodrich.
Aye.
Levinson.
Aye.
Ferguson.
Aye.
Null.
Aye.
Goodman. Aye. HTC 22-54 continued. HTC 2255-50 West Mystic Ave. Ms. Paca?
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Kirsten Paca, the Beerston Paca Lunch. That's how you remember my name. Hello, everybody.
hello.
I am here because from my home on 50 West Mystic Avenue, I would like to pave the driveway and also re-shingle the detached garage. So, the driveway that's here is existing. It is just gravel at this point. And the reason why I'd like to change it, it's just the gravel gets everywhere in the winter time. It's hard to shovel. It's hard to snow blow. Driveway itself it's about 67 feet long. It's quite long. So that's why I'd like to have it paved with asphalt. Any questions about that?
Want to do this with this page? Because it'd be easier to see than what she has on her computer.
Eric, is that the next question about the driveway?
Yeah, if you want to.
Have you anybody looked at drainage? I know your area pretty well, I grew up right up the street and it does tend to get water in it during storms. My only concern is drainage.
Okay.
When you go hardscape, is it gonna cause problems to your neighbor behind you? Get anybody look at that?
I have not. And I guess I need to.
This is my question.
Itself is pretty small, so you're correct. Any other questions? So shingling the garage, I really don't know what this material is, but I would like to just have it reshingled so that it matches the house. The picture in the middle is the existing cedar shingle, so I just use that for reference. And I just showed an up close of the current garage, which it has to be addressed, like it's kind of unsightly. So those are the two projects.
You're gonna put cedar shingles in the garage.
Yes. Also around the back too. It's not visible from the street, but yes, it'll all be done.
Are you changing the
And
trim?
just- No, the trim is going to remain the same.
Okay,
So the trim will be white, everything will remain the same.
No, size of the cobblestones?
Well, that wasn't this one.
No, this is asphalt.
This is just paving.
Oh, okay,
The previous one was colored.
I don't have any problem with the shingling the garage. That'll look a lot better, but that driveway is pretty big. I think it could be, I think, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the drainage might be an issue. I don't know. How big
Okay.
is it? How big is it altogether?
So the driveway is kind of funky in size. So from the detached garage down to the street, it's about 67 feet. I wrote them down. How do I describe this?
So you have two garages.
I have two garages. So the one that's attached is about 22 feet from the door to the street, and then that part is about 13 feet wide. And then in the larger part of the driveway is about 18 feet at the widest part. So it's just varying measurements.
Hmm.
So I did not think about drainage.
Care of. I guess I'm not so concerned with drainage, but it just kind of took me a little bit of a bummer to go from a gravel driveway to an asphalt driveway. They do something called oil and stone, which is a
Yeah, that's.
driveway, packed stone in.
Okay.
Did that, I'd be totally fine with it. That you can pave, you can plow, you can snow blow, everything.
Okay.
Just a thin stone that they pack right on the top of the asphalt.
Does that impact drainage? Is it like, you guys don't know about that?
It's not in our purview. That was just.
Oh, that was
me.
just the kindness. Okay.
That was kindness of comment.
Okay. Good.
But I much rather,
It was meant in a good way.
much rather that than the big asphalt driveway.
Okay.
truthfully. I'm okay with the shed.
Any other questions?
I'm not sure that we don't have some audio over drainage, but
I don't think we do. Again, it was just, I'm familiar with the area, so I just don't think about her and her neighbors. It's a little lower, the one behind her, the house that's for sale now, the yellow house.
What do you do with like types of drainage? Like, there's all that stuff in there about like the gutters and streets, things like that, but
If you take a permeable surface and make it impermeable, then you have some sort of.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I understand I gravel, I mean, it's a pain.
Okay.
Would you want to do oil and stone? Or
Would
would
be
you?
open to the concept.
I would be open to it. Absolutely. I just assumed that asphalt would be easier, but I absolutely appreciate the point.
You want a good garage
One application in your driveway.
and come back on the driveway? Or do you want to change it to oil and stone and
Why don't I do the garage as one application? And then it sounds like I have a couple more questions to be answered for the driveway, which I will take care of and then reapply for that.
So
that work?
you're gonna amend this
I just-
application to just the garage?
or just, can we just split it and just continue the driveway portion?
I'd prefer we just cross out the driveway part and vote on and come back with another application for the driveway.
At least keeps you in
Would
the.
that work for you, Kirsten? If we split it tonight?
Sure.
Or you reapply, just withdraw that part, and reapply. And say, you can actually deny all that, you can deny the driveway, so you can have a reapply.
That's what I was gonna suggest.
That's fine. It sounds like I have some more.
We need to
Yeah.
get the dimensions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Check out everyone's done, like, if you. you'll see
Okay.
stuff.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Anyone like to speak against this application? HTC 22-55 is closed. Okay, HTC 22-56, 8 Ice House Lane. Right?
How come you always end up last on the agenda?
I'm the patient guy.
He wants us to be in his memory, our memory, because he's the last guy.
Okay, so I was here last time. We had,
State your name.
oh, Peter Bartkowski. I'm with Lana Citarelli.
Can you just turn it upside down, turn it around,
Yeah, hold on. a minute.
please? Thank you. Much better. Thank you.
So we had to, talking about doing the house. We showed you the house plans the last time. We've got pictures of windows and the siding, the door in the front, the garage doors. We sent a lot of stuff in to Peter electronically, and I'll show you the pictures, what I have. So this is pretty much that. This is the street.
And your lot, I'm just playing two lots, everybody knows which one it is.
I'm messed up here. Hold on, let me look at this. I have a better, here, this one here. This would be the lot right here. One. Okay, so that's the overview. These are houses in the neighborhood already. This one is the second one down. Yeah. I still can't figure this out after sitting here.
That's
Okay,
better.
that's the house. That's the house right across the street. And then, this is the one next to it. Going down to the right.
Do we have all that stuff?
Yeah, I sent this in.
On the electronic.
These are the houses on the cul-de-sac. Down, going around. And this is the land now. At east, west, north, south. Pictures.
No, the other way. There you go.
That one. That's the south. That's where the driveway is.
Okay.
So if you're looking at this, if you're gonna, the way the house is going to be situated, it's, the driveway goes right to the garage. So the house is gonna be facing the street that way. Over the last, how we were gonna place the house on the property.
I was gonna ask you, you're into that loop around.
Yeah, because it's tight and we need to have 15 feet at least. So we compromised and we're going to face, so the back of the house is going to line right up with the wall on the graveyard. Okay, then we're gonna face this way. We were gonna go on an angle and face down New London Road going towards Groton.
So to be clear, basically the side of the house will be parallel on the
The street, yep, it's gonna be 20 feet in, and we have that, I'll get to that in a second. Here's the last view, this is, Yep. So this would be the lot standing on the lot next door, looking that way. Okay. This is what the driveway is going to look like.
Put around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I can do this. No more than 11 feet, and I'm not joking.
What's the material?
Stone. Yeah, we're gonna use stone. And we'll put a border on it like this. You know. And that's gonna go straight in. So no curvature or nothing. That's what it's going to look like.
Oh, this is in that electronic though.
The other way.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
what this is new. Did you not get this all submitted into your application?
Yeah, this isn't in. These are things that we took off of what we're going to do. Like this is deciding, these are the types of doors. This is just the look of the house.
Here's the issue. I just want to save your time. This plan that you're submitting has to have all of that information going on.
I have it right here. I got it all right here. It's all on. I just made marks on the paper, you know, what we're doing.
Get a copy, submit it, they can scan it. And then it's in the file. But if we go through all this, we can't really do anything with it. So we're gonna do this all tonight and then we're not gonna be able to do anything. So we need like a very extensive detailed list of like everything to go in the file. The driveway, like what stone, what Belgian block, what size.
Yeah, you actually don't want it to be less than 11 feet.
It's less than 11 feet. Not to be wise here.
And the cobblestones too.
Driveway is less than 11 feet.
Yeah, but what I'm seeing, so
I think
That's the way, yeah, it's the way it's written. Under 11 feet, if it's a single family home, less than 11 feet, you don't regulate it.
you need Belgian blocks. Why do you come with skirts and stuff?
It's a sidewalk, not a driveway.
Oh, okay, fine, forget that. Just
but I
skip
mean,
it.
we don't have a list of the lights. So
Yeah, I do. I have all the pictures of what we're gonna put on the house right here,
not in the packet though.
We don't have it.
but it's in front of you right now. I have it.
It's gonna be submitted for the.
Right.
People from the public.
Isn't this me submitting it though?
It used to
Bringing it?
be, so prior to COVID, you used to be able to come in here, you bring your whole thing and you submit it all. After, when COVID started and they changed to all the online stuff, you had to then submit everything ahead of time. And they couldn't take anything at the day of the hearing.
So if somebody in the public who wanted to look at your file,
Excuse me. Lana, are you listening? And can you put up Alessio? Yeah, this one. No.
Hello,
And they- Lon, can you hear?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right, so, yeah, just, listen in here. We're having an issue. The pictures that we have, I guess they have to be submitted electronically because something about COVID.
Okay, I received an email. I received an email from Tom. I believe he's from the building department. His last name starts with a Z. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it. I had submitted him everything that he had asked me for, and he has that all.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's in the picture I have of the stuff that we've already put online. Yeah, but they're having a problem. They don't have it online electronically, apparently.
Okay. I could even now, let me pull my email up, and I had another woman respond to me saying that Tom was going to be out until Thursday. And she responded in his, on his behalf, and her name is Linda. Linda Galletta.
Yeah, they got her.
I don't think there's any point in blaming anyone or whatever.
Oh, we're not trying to blame
I'm
anyone.
just telling you, it's not in the packet, so we
Okay.
can't accept. it. So what I'm trying to tell you is how to do this, because I think it's great. It's gonna all be approved. Or
Yeah, I mean, everything we
think
see
it's
is,
you need to submit a set of plans showing each thing in the house. You then need to do an entire spec sheet of everything and pointing to every single item. The cleaner you can make it, the less questions are gonna be.
So a description of the windows, who's the manufacturer dimensions.
actually,
I'm thinking we should submit the whole package to Tom, and when I'm thinking without talking to Tom, I'd have to talk to Tom. Is he picked out thinking what you needed for this? So,
But coming in here and saying this is what it's.
Well, no, I know,
It doesn't work.
like I said, I talked to Tom, but I gotta talk. to
Whether or
someone
not the
else.
picture's really pretty and I think the house is gonna look beautiful, it's fine, but it doesn't work. Someone's gonna say, well, this is,
and I hate to say it every time we cut corners before it's come around to be a
We're
problem.
not here to cut corners. So, I mean, if I just take these plans and just write it down, I mean, are you telling me to hire an engineer to, you know,
You submitted a set of plans here. okay?
Yeah.
Your plans here say like brick. Back here, it says like painted brick. If you're not doing that,
that's just a picture of the back of the house. That's what that is.
so you
This is,
need to take this set or the big version and get it
And make it
scanned,
on it?
cross out everything that is accurate, fill in everything that is accurate, and then say like for the light, say see exhibit 1. Stick the light. Here's the window. See exhibit 2.
Okay.
Anderson 400, whatever it is. Here's the front door. Here's the siding. Here's the
Yep.
the roofing, everything. Then you have an entire complete package. You got your plans. We don't care about any of the interior stuff or any
Yeah,
structural stuff.
we know.
But all that, the garage door, who makes it, what size is it, all that stuff. Put it all together, you hand it back to us. It's gonna look like that. You have probably no problems. But saying it's gonna look like that and then having some plans with some notes and having a file that says brick, you're not using brick, or maybe you are using brick, you need to know all that.
okay. So,
My suggestion would be to go look at the minutes from the last meeting and look at.
What?
hold on.
Where they,
Yeah, 17 gravel.
no, yes, we'll look at 17 gravel from last minute and look at Bill Birch, the architect, did and how he put that presentation together. Copy that. Come back next time, submit it ahead of time.
You can get the minutes online.
Or even watch on GMTV, it's recorded.
But you're telling me I can draw on this.
Yeah, you just can't have like conflicting things. Like we can't have a page in our file that says brick if you're doing C. We've got windows here that don't match those windows. Like if you do that, and we vote on it, all you're asking for is someone to appeal it, and then you end up possibly a whole different fiasco.
So my question is draw on this. This has to be submitted electronically too?
Should be, yeah.
Or did they bring it to you guys? You guys scan it in, it comes in hard copy.
I think they do for a fee.
If you have it,
And that's good.
if you have it in PDF version, you can do it in, you can just edit the PDF.
It should be planned on the scope work and your plans. That's what they are.
Alessio, does this sound possible to you? I mean, can you put this together?
Peter, put the plan up, the site plan.
All right. We'll have to figure out how to put this onto the computer. Yeah, we'll figure out a way.
Can you put the site plan up this way they can see it?
I'm just.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're not interested, so it doesn't matter. I understand what the
Okay.
man's saying. So we got to do what the man says. It is what it
Okay,
is.
but at least we can preliminarily see if the way we put the house on there is good or not. If not, we
Yeah.
have to change it. So can we at least put
I
that?
understand. Listen, what we're submitting is consistent. We're gonna get approved. We gotta jump through a little more hoops here. So I'll call you in a few minutes.
And you're saying that you might be able to bring this in for a fee, they could electronically.
The town, I pay the town.
Or just go to Staples
Yeah,
or.
I'm a
EBC.
carpenter. I don't know
I
anything
could
about
take a photo of it.
it. I don't do any of this stuff. This is, I build things all day.
Our town loves charging fees. So trust me, pay them, they'll help you out with a lot of stuff.
So I think we're gonna be able to figure this out, no problem. I understand what these guys are saying. It makes sense.
You build stuff for a living. Think about it as you were building it and you had to see every item.
Right,
what it
I get
was,
it.
So you could go out and buy it.
I just don't know how to put it on the computer is what I'm saying. That's not,
Go to Staples, print out a fresh copy, cross the stuff out, highlight the new stuff,
and then
mark
get it in.
everything, and
you.
then give an exhibit
No problem.
packet with everything. I mean, every single item.
We were just under the impression the last meeting, he said, just take a whole bunch of detailed pictures, get everything together, and that's what we did. So we focused on that. We were focused on the wrong stuff. So we'll do this again.
The detailed pictures are great as ancillary stuff to convince us that it's gonna look good, which it does. So, but if you have conflicting documents and it's not
I get it.
well enough.
I am not disagreeing with anything that you say. I understand why you're saying what you're saying.
I'll tell you.
When is the next meeting? 2 weeks? So we got 2 weeks, guys. That's okay.
It's gotta come in before, how much?
Oh, it'll be in before. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it.
Window before they'll tell you.
Okay,
Hold on, Lon. I'm gonna find out when the stuff's gotta be in. September 4th? October, yeah, that's right. Sorry. Okay, October 4th.
You have everything.
I just want to be very clear. You can go forward with this approach. If someone appeals it or something like that, you could end up in a fiasco.
What's wrong? October 4th is. Oh, he
When
doesn't-
the
when
debt
the
is-
CFO
I didn't know the meeting was.
I'm telling you, the cleanest and safest way for you.
We're gonna do it your way. I understand. I see what's going. This is my third meeting. I'm watching things. So I don't want to deal with a whole bunch of other people.
As you've seen.
Date, right? Date for tomorrow.
Getting involved.
Yeah, you got 2 days.
You gotta
I have 2 days.
Get it.
It's easy. I just have to figure out how to scan this through a computer. But my sister will take care of it.
I move to continue. HDC,
22-56, I second. Goodrich.
Aye.
aye.
Small.
Aye.
Goodman, aye. All right, HCC 20-56 is continued. Good time, 65 days.
We'll be at the town on Monday. I'm off.
Thank you.
Right.
All right, so I have 2 days. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Alessio.
It's gonna be a nice house.
It is a nice house. We're not trying to do anything different than what you guys are doing. We understand the process.
Okay, so we're gonna close the public hearing at 8:32. On to deliberation. So this is HDC 22-4052 Parole Street. This is the driveway. Comments, motions?
I just want to thank Mr. Young for working with us, and I appreciate the compromise. So thank you.
I would make a motion to approve based upon the amended
Modifications we specified specifically this evening.
All right, so it's a motion to approve with changing the width at the sidewalk to 14 feet, running a 7 or 6-inch granite curb, minimum of 10 feet into the property and parallel to the left sidewalk, and then returning it to the left sidewalk in some fashion. With that return being a minimum 10 feet and the entire inside of that square between the sidewalk and the 14-foot opening being plants of some nature.
Somebody's got a second.
Second.
Oh,
All right, all in favor, or all, whatever.
Remember, we have to give our reasons for the yay. or nay.
Goodrich,
I vote to approve it. I think it's in keeping with the historic district as it's now agreed to.
I vote to approve too, and thank Mr. Young for his compromise. I think it's a good compromise. The neighbors will be happy. Hopefully you'll be happy, and Everybody would be happy.
I approve too, based upon the reasons that were stated.
I approve because it serves your purpose, it serves the neighbor's purpose.
I approve.
Hold on, I gotta get the sheet.
All right, HDC
I gotta get a number on here.
22-40 is approved. 215? 415.
I'm
Right,
sorry, say it again.
2415.
Is this your certificate
We
number?
just jump right to hers,
Well,
or does it have to be in a certain order?
Already done.
do I need to, Peter, do I need to put all that on this? I think it's okay.
Trying to get you out of here.
Read the reason.
Submitted.
Modify. And attach that document and stamp it or whatever, put it in there. When you guys drew up on there.
I think it's, yeah, it's in there.
Is yours next?
Oh, we can do mine, sure.
No, do hers, that's, if you have her file.
We can go out of order, right?
Need a motion to it.
I make a motion to go out of order and
Second,
All right, HTC 22-55, this is 50 West Mystic Ave. A motion to split it, or I make a motion to split it into two parts. The garage and the driveway. Someone's got a second.
second.
All in favor, Goodrich, of splitting it.
I,
Levinson,
Aye.
Goodman, aye.
aye,
Oh, this is
Aye.
just a split. Okay, so then let's start with the garage first. So this is
I make a motion to approve the garage.
a
as he presented it.
second. All in favor?
I vote to prove it. I think it matches the house and it's very well done. So thank you.
I vote to approve it for the same reasons.
I vote to approve as well. I think the shingles will be a nice touch.
Vote to approve for the next.
It'll be an improvement. I approve.
So the garage shingles replacement is approved. The driveway, again, I'll make a motion to approve.
I make a motion to deny.
Well, we approve it and then we deny it. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's a second.
Wait, what?
Don't want to second that.
No, you don't want a second.
Wait, I thought we have to make a motion to approve.
Make a motion to vote, right?
Make a motion to vote, so I'm making a motion to deny the driveway.
No,
That's for asphalt.
I totally understand what you're saying. 'cause I
Yeah,
thought
you're trying to
about
get a
this.
second to approve, and then you guys can argue, and you go deliberate for the denial.
Because remember, I've said this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So second, my motion to
Okay,
approve.
I second Eric's motion to approve, I'm sorry.
Now we deliberate or we vote. Goodrich,
As if I vote to deny it or, yeah, I vote to deny it. I don't think the asphalt is proper. I think that we need to look at other options.
I vote to deny it also for the same reasons.
I vote to deny it and suggest you look at oil and stone.
Vote to deny and look at oil.
I deny it. I think the Eric's suggestion is a good one, but just something maybe besides asphalt for that large of a driveway.
All right, so second part is denied. Moving on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Check it out, though. Most contractors should be able to give you a price on that. So, no problem.
I think I checked the wrong block on the file I just gave you.
All right. I don't know what-
Where's Todd when I need him?
You have my file. So, HTC 22-44 is 9 Roland Street, the addition to the garage.
Give John a second here. Number on that one, Don?
No. 'Cause
2417 is the next one.
That one I need.
417?
Wait, we're gonna need that because
This is.
this is my house.
That's right.
Oh, I thought-
That's what I thought.
Wait,
There you go.
just give me a second here.
That's my house. We haven't done it yet.
Okay,
So I'll hold on to that. I give Sarah credit. This is confusing. I'm gonna recuse myself, so I guess I'm not involved.
I would like to make a motion to approve.
Wait, don't you
Aye.
have to appoint Max? Oh, that's what you're doing?
no,
No.
no,
I'll appoint Max to vote in my place.
I'd like to make a motion to approve 9 Roland Street as presented.
Second.
Second,
All right, so all in favor or opposed? Goodrich,
I vote to approve it. I think it's well done. I think it's in keeping with the house in the neighborhood.
I vote to approve it and I accept Eric's representations about the structural limitations.
Vote to approve because it's only. Fine, it is what it is.
Max or Bonnie?
I approve.
All approved, so. Bump into my house.
What's the?
I was
what's the number?
418.
2418.
Right. HTC 22-54, this is 42 Cliff Street. This was continued. This is for the cobblestone pavers, so.
This, the one that continued does not need a number.
No.
I'm missing the first one.
What, Parole Street?
Yeah.
Yeah, Parole Street. I thought we handed it to him.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else.
You just step it in with the other one.
It might be in somewhere.
Rose next to it, there's one.
I have 2 left, so.
I got the right forms in the right file.
Just doesn't match up with the HTC area. That's all right. Sorry, file's just wrong. Labeling on the.
All right, HCC 22-52 Elder Street. This is the replacement windows. Any comments or motions?
I move to approve.
Before I second that, I'll just comment that I wish they would do. They could do a vinyl window. It would just be nice if it had grills on the glass, not between the glass. I think it's a much better looking historic district. And I'll second the motion to approve. Goodrich?
So I'm gonna abstain. I have a problem with vinyl, and I think we're sending mixed messages where some people have to put wood in, other people get vinyl in, and it would actually approve vinyl in this project. So although I would typically vote against it, I'm just gonna abstain.
I would vote to approve because we've approved the same windows at the same house, the same design, and you're dealing with a house that's got aluminum siding to begin with, so it's not in a historical state presently.
I'm gonna say no, and my reasoning is just because I think you could take the extra step using the same window company to just make it look a little better instead of just making it look the same as something that shouldn't have been replaced with the second product.
I'm in Don's corner because if we hadn't already approved the addition, the windows on the addition, I have a hard time not approving and doing like for like. In the sense of doing it on the addition, so it's making it match the rest of the house. So I approve.
Bonnie?
I'm gonna vote to approve because we approved it in the rest of the house and it'll be consistent with the rest of the windows in the house.
Right, HTC 22-50 is approved.
Peter, you got a number for me?
I'm trying to get the coordination on it. So I got 2. Because you went on a sequence. Now I'm having a hard time with it all. So I got 2415. There's Pearl Street. 2417, 2418, Go 2416. Where's the 2416?
Right here in front of Eric.
That's a continued one.
This 2416 can be continued.
So the first one we did, the first one was Parole Street. Parole Street was the first one, so that was 2415. And you jump ship, you went to West Mystic Avenue, so that was this one, West Mystic Avenue.
2255.
This should be 241, this should be 2416, he's got 2417 on this one. Well, this should be 2416.
Then you went to my house, 22-44.
2417. 417.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch what the vote was for 9 Roland. Can you tell me what that was?
All in favor, and Max voted in my place.
Right, who made the motion and who's,
I made the motion to approve.
Bill made the motion and John seconded it. You get that, Linda?
yes, thank
And this one should be 2418, which is Elgin Street.
The windows we just did.
Yeah.
That's 2418, which is that one.
This one,
No, that's Eric's still.
yeah,
418 in front of you.
This one right here, this is 2418. This is blank yet. So it's 2418.
and that's there.
And this is 2418 right there.
This windows, 24.
18.
That's submitted.
Right, the last one was HTC 22-56, and this was continued. That was Ice House Lane, so. You just didn't have a double. All right, any pre-application? hearings, pre-applications?
Anyone online here for pre-application?
Any public communications?
Yeah, so Andrea Katsinis has been in touch with me again, wanted to know what's going on with her fence issue.
Peter.
I will not be able to say anything on it. I know Tom, Sarah, and the attorney had a meeting last week. I was not in last week, so. Tom will be actually at the next meeting, so.
Do you know if they'll be notifying her or does she have to wait to hear through us?
Probably would have to wait to hear through us, because it's a request from this board.
Okay.
To find out on it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'd ask him direct next, he'll be at the next meeting,
Okay.
so I'd ask him direct.
So Tom's gonna be at the next meeting to address.
I'm not gonna be at the next meeting, so Tom's gonna be in his position, yeah.
Could you also ask him just to address some of the miscellaneous other things? Not that I'm like,
Yeah, he'll give the status, he give the status update of where those are at.
oh, vinyl fence on Pearl Street, all this other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, a couple of them.
And I think maybe something we need to talk about is coming up with a way to address these, because I know that's Miss Katsuni's frustration is we kind of talk about things and they don't tend to go anywhere. So I think we need to find a way to.
I would agree with that, but unfortunately, either Tom does his analysis and doesn't notify all of us, or
Sorry, I missed the beginning of that.
I was just made that like, it's tough because sometimes like this little vinyl fence that I don't particularly care about, but now I'm starting to care about because I told him like a year
We should
ago,
address it, so.
something on Pearl Street past Harpin down on the right, the stucco house.
I know he sent out a second letter to him.
if people can just go for years without,
No, it's a process for any of it, but yeah, it does.
then I would have just put my dormers up,
Give you chances. Roll
just
the dice.
deal with it later.
A lot of people.
So
Roll the
That
dice.
doesn't work, like, and that shouldn't work.
No.
That also raises a question about that house that's been under construction for 10 years. Like, is their HDC thing still approved, still in?
That's a
Valid.
stretch. That's a stretch of where it's going because they're working on it. Now, just
According
not
to,
finishing it within 5 years, does that designate null and void where they got to come back for a continuance or an extension from this commission or not?
which I think they should, because it at least sets a tone that you should at least complete the work that's approved, otherwise.
With a 5-year time lapse.
So, because I think that's also an unsafe and dangerous condition, especially around that walkway, because I walk down that every
Is that the
day.
house on Route 1?
Yep.
Yeah.
With the wall, the concrete wall?
Yeah.
And so question, can we form like, I mean, I volunteer for like a subcommittee of 2 or 3 of us that work to like follow these things up, because
Set some realistic timelines.
Hmm.
Send a letter out in 30 days. If you don't get a letter in 30 days, send another letter out in 30 days. If you
I think
don't
it
get
may
a
be
second-
something that the board could look at, it's updating the policies.
I mean, I'd be open for a subcommittee of 2 or 3 of us. whatever we're doing.
They were trying to look at ways to improve
Otherwise,
these regulations anyway.
And I've said this probably for a year or two, otherwise this makes no sense, just get rid of it. It's a waste of everyone's time.
Well, you got the majority of people that do comply.
Yeah.
You're always
But
gonna
if
have,
you're not gonna
you're
enforce
always
it,
gonna have the outliers, you're always gonna have a few
right, but the
outliers.
majority of people don't need police showing up at their house, but you have the police there to make sure that doesn't happen.
Occasionally.
So, yeah.
A lot of times they don't.
But for me, if I can, it's having the public have faith in us, and I think we.
I think the public does have faith in us.
I think that's.
I don't think well, okay, I think when there's problems, there's not faith in the getting rectified.
No.
You know, Andrea Cassini's issue, this issue, you know, violations that can just sort of go on with,
And there's, you know, and
and it's slow for us to respond.
well, the frustrating part is that the process itself takes forever for a lot of this stuff, because it's a long extended out period that people can use extensions, delays and everything they
But
want.
if he just kicked an email out once a month or every other meeting and just said, here's the list of problems and this is where we are. A quick little Excel thing, just to say like,
Just to give an update.
yeah, just so we
Just
know.
a Update on projects in the area. or
Yeah.
something like that.
I mean, it's similar, don't you give out a thing to zoning for like non-compliant stuff? Or that ASP thing or whatever?
We usually get for blight, that's the biggest one.
Yeah, but this is a small district. This is gonna be, you're gonna have 6 problems, you know, if that. Just at least makes everyone feel better that like something's actually being done.
Yeah, I could do something.
It's just an example of transparency.
Are we still on the record? Are we still in the meeting or?
Yeah.
Okay. Just reminding everybody.
No, it's just fine. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I'd even be so opposed to some of this stuff. I just think that people need to come in and just do the application and get it done with. That's all. Anyways,
What else is on your, oh, you got. more
yeah, I just had a public communications thing. So I was reached out to by a town resident who was concerned about the signposts that have been put up on the lanterns in downtown Mystic. And how we didn't have to approve that. And according to the town manager, that was under his authority to put that up.
And in the state right away. This is where they're located.
So I can give some back.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
So
I think there is some exemptions about the state.
I'm not so sure because on election time, you can't put political signs in the state or town right away.
Is the state putting those signs up? Who's putting those signs up?
Town.
Town.
Towns put this, so the
so-
town municipalities put the signs up?
So, no, what's up? So Bruce
Yeah, but then-
Flax,
Just give me 1 second. Sorry, I don't mean to go. But just one question though. If you can do whatever you want in the state right away. So I could,
I'm not saying you can do it right away. I'm saying I think the municipalities have a little bit of a leeway though.
so understanding what is being addressed. Bruce Flax is president of the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. And he wanted to put signs up about the 100-year anniversary of the Bastille Bridge. And so he went to the town to ask them, and the town planner's not right. Somebody on the town said, we own the signpost, so we can determine what goes there and what can go there. And so Bruce went to them, and said, I want this, and this. And that was my understanding of how that process played out.
When we voted on town signage for the Explore Groton thing, when John Reiner was on the thing,
Presentation.
we had to
Yeah.
vote to approve town signage in the town right away, or state right away. Yeah, it was on Route 1 on the side of the building.
Page came in.
Put it on the walkway.
No,
I wonder if
Those are
because
the
that's a
markers
permanent
and
sign versus a temporary
Yeah,
sign.
These are not permanent.
Well, we had this before, and we said that if it's not permanent, it's not within our jurisdiction.
I guess the question was, if the signage is temporary, does that mean that the stanchions or whatever, is that remaining? That was one of the questions. And his point was also, and I'm just reading this. Are the Mystic Chambers signage authorized that are on the light poles all along Main Street in downtown Mystic? Seems that such signs and advertising are not keeping with the Mystic and historic districts. That's why we have one sign and banner hanging across Main Street. Then he just made some comments about the fact that he wasn't so opposed to the Basque Bridge signage, but he was opposed to the fact that there's a big thing below that says like Foxwoods.
Those temporary signs though? That
I
we're
don't
looking
know.
at, because temporary signs are not regulated. So if it's temporary sign.
It's
we don't-
temporary 30 days.
So we have to do the zoning regs, we can follow the zoning regs, it's not in the historic district, right? So we have to follow the zoning regs on that.
So. Okay, if the signs are temporary, then forget it. That's fine. But someone just needs to just say that they're temporary and get it out of our whatever. If the sign thingies, the stanchions are permanent, don't they need to be approved?
Isn't this multi-file street and traffic sign?
We don't even need an answer tonight.
Yeah, as they said, I can look into it a little bit more, but I'd say the temporary signs we don't regulate.
And I'm not even sure.
Then it's just a matter of figuring out what's quantifies the time.
Because they've never been up until Bruce asked for them to be up.
And technically, the sign qualifies that they should be getting a permit for a sign permit to begin with, it's gonna be a permanent sign. So that should be the trigger point to go through the process from there.
According to this gentleman, he reached out to John Burt to ask him. And basically John's response was,
Which would make sense if it was, hey, is this temporary sign required to get a permit? No.
he said, I've already given permission and they already spend the money on the banners. I don't feel comfortable rescinding permission when it's only a few weeks away. I just confirmed again that the banners comply with HTC rules and planning rules.
They're probably considered a temporary sign.
After October 15th.
Now.
That's Bridge. I won't be up there.
Which I'm not for or against these.
But I'm thinking that's what the logic would be behind that, is it's considered a temporary sign, and that's why it's not regulated.
I raised my feathers because I just thought it was weird that the town was allowing signs to go up supporting, as an example, Foxwoods or any other for-profit organization. I think that's a little odd.
So, and again, I think there's more to on the sign that I haven't seen.
Well, it says like support. I looked at it. It says like supporting the Basket Bridge. I think that's all great.
Okay, yeah,
I just-
because he's putting the spot, I'm speaking.
But you're using town property to sponsor a private organization, a private nonprofit.
Right.
That part I think is
What
kind
does the
of.
sign say? Does anybody know?
Yeah, so I know, so it basically says, October 15th, 100th anniversary of the Basque Bridge celebration. Then I think you got Foxwoods, you got Spicer Gas, there's a number of Market Realty, there's a number of private businesses.
We don't get into content unless it's into obscenity. And even obscenity is a stretch, because it's like you really have to be careful with that.
So
we don't really get into the content of what's written on there. We get into the sizes, we get into stuff like that.
I do see both sides of the argument. I mean, at the
That's
end
from
of
the zoning hat, though. I mean, that's.
right,
what I'm-
at the end of the chamber's a private organization too, they're not government. So,
Does it say
zoning-
sponsored by? Or what?
Yeah, it says, no, I think it says, it either says sponsored or it has their name, but either way.
hold up.
But the zoning regs say that all signs proposed to be located within the town of Groton Historic District must comply separately with any applicable regulations
Because they
of such a
see,
district
which we allow temporary signs.
prior to the installation of any signs.
Which we have as a listed non-regulated activity as temporary sign.
I guess, why wouldn't? If they're up for more than 30 days, why wouldn't someone just come and ask for the approval? Just to be, even if they're temporary or permanent, just to.
I
get it
think
out of the
most
way.
people look at it as, I'm putting up a temporary sign, honestly. You know, it's not gonna be up for a long period of time, and that's what it's like.
Yeah, I think the basketball thing's. a
Yeah,
great
it says
setup.
sponsored by.
What's it from?
It
I
did-
mean, at least the picture on the website does, so I gotta assume it's,
It just did make me wonder why the town is allowing their property to be used by private sponsors for a private
Question
organization.
not for me, but a question for someone else involved in another aspect of it, that's involved in those signs.
Otherwise, I will gladly plaster downtown Mystic with the Cape Lake and Company.
well,
You put it down after a temporary time.
and you bring up a good point, Eric, because the reason political signs aren't allowed is because, you know, if you're on one party rather than the other, why do you want your tax money supporting the other party?
They are allowed during the election season.
Not on town right away, they're not, or state right away.
You can put them, but you're actually not supposed to.
So I see the same thing. Why are you now the town's basic promoting a business? So. I mean, let's say I'm John Goodrich Realty, and I'm just using this as an example because I know Judy and I, she's a friend, but is the town promoting another real estate company over mine? It's, I see the point.
Is this a historic district issue, or is this more of a planning and functioning issue?
What? You raise my.
We're supposed to be going over the content, what we're looking at, I mean,
Yeah.
from this board.
But I'm saying, I think we should improve the content on it.
Well, then you would have to go in there and change some of the HTC stipulations.
Oh, no, it's gonna be up for more than 30 days, because it's been up for 20 something already. And if the bridge celebration.
So the question would be, is you have it listed as a temporary sign, and you do not define what is a temporary sign. So that's something you could work on in your regulations to make it a better.
Doesn't it say 30 days? It just says temporary,
It's temporary.
but that's our right to
We can-
interpret it.
We can define temporary in our regulations.
Something that I would probably, you remember we were talking about updating these?
Yeah.
Probably putting in the notes about something. to look at.
Sounds like that subcommittee we're talking about should be formed that it can read.
The subcommittee should be looking into revamping these. You're gonna get that way. So I mean, that would be having concise rules in there.
Yep.
Instead of leaving ambiguous language.
If we have the right to interpret it, and we're here to
I'm
interpret.
sure there's some statutory rulings out there that would give you what is short, what is temporary, what is not. I'm sure there is some sort of precedence out
So
there.
to
that's
hit,
not-
to this gentleman's point, can we figure out what temporary is? And then figure out if these signs are actually not at the,
Yeah, it'd be a question to ask the attorney to go research if there's any precedents in there, with HTC districts around, what they consider a temporary time frame, since we don't define a time frame.
by the time he does that, because he moves so
October
fast,
20th.
it'll be October 20th, 2023.
Well, I don't know if you recall, but with Pizzetta during COVID, we allowed them to put a quote temporary sign that was up for
Which
months.
is still up.
So I'll get back and something that I think forming a subcommittee to deal with issues, rewrite the rules is probably a good idea.
It does seem like downtown's become. There's all the A-frames, there's all the signage, there's all the temporary signage, there's all the, it's got a little.
Well, it's a huge building in Water Street.
My signage is small.
Building's big.
You look good.
I asked for approval, you approved it. Come on. I've had it very tasteful. The copper gutters were well done and came at a very high expense.
You know what that would have cost today?
But yeah, nobody's stripping it down. This is worth a lot of money.
I don't know, I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe it.
My only question in response to Eric's comment, I'm sorry, John's comment is the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce what is it? Is it a?
Not a government organization, it's a private organization. It's a
It's a nonprofit.
501c.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit.
I don't care what the.
No, no, I'm just, yeah, sorry.
My point is, I don't care who the signs are from. I don't care if they're from like, the best nonprofit fundraising, whatever, like, or even if it was the town coming and saying, I want to put these signs up, like, if they're temporary, they don't need approval. If they're more than temporary, they need approval.
Where I see the problem is where do you draw the line? So let's say I start a 501c, John Goodrich is the best club, do I get to plaster downtown Mystic with the signs with my sponsors? You say no, why not? You let somebody else do it. And I appreciate the work chamber does, so please, I'm not.
No, it's not a chamber.
No, 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 and my only defense of the chamber is no one's ever asked before. So when Bruce asked, he asked, and they said, no one's ever asked before, here are the regs. And if
no, I
you
get
do X, Y, and Z, then you can do this. So I think to your point, if you want to do John Goodrich is the best, you can put it up after October 15th.
I just gotta get 501C scheduled first.
Yeah.
You have 30 days, and you move down the street to another location.
But that's my
Temporary down
point.
there.
If it's temporary,
I mean, no, the
fine.
graphic artist, I'll make the signs up.
If it's temporary and the town manager wants to approve it, that's fine. If it's not temporary, whatever that definition is, then it should have been approved.
We also, there is a relationship to the town. I mean, the bridge is attached to the town, so it's not totally a private function, you know, it's a.
I don't think this gentleman, or I would have had any problem if all the banner said was like, we were really excited the bridge lasted for 100 years. Or whatever, like, you know, celebrating the bridge. His point is the minute you start throwing the sponsors on,
Okay,
on town signage.
but devil's advocate, Eric, and you're a business person, I'm a business person.
who will pay for it?
I'll be honest, if I'm sponsoring something, yeah, someone's had the goodness of my heart, but if it's my business, I'm doing it for advertising.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the pitch to get a sponsor too. So, and then without the sponsors, you don't have the event, which isn't good for the town. So there's,
I just think if it was permanent, that we would have to come and say, we'll approve it, but we're not approving the sponsor piece or whatever. We could have done.
I don't know if you can get into the content so much as the design of the sign.
Yeah, the content, we've done that before. Take that off. Remember that lady with the crystals?
I think it was because it wasn't historic, the way it was drawn up on there. The design, it was the design of the sign, I think.
We've got into the.
Yeah, we've gotten into the size of the letters and, you know, what's on the sign and everything.
We don't approve those big banners over those streets.
It was a temporary.
It's
good
temporary.
point, Bonnie.
And they're sponsors.
No, but I'm saying,
Strict regulation.
if it's temporary and it's got the sponsorship on, this is a mute point. If it's not temporary and then the sign's got to get approved.
So I
And
think
his point was just that he didn't think the sponsorship was right, and I don't think that's necessarily right if it was a permanent sign. But the point is if it was not permanent, if it's temporary, it doesn't need approval. If it's permanent, you should at least have an understanding of what's the difference.
you don't know what the timeline is.
Yeah.
We'll call it temporary, we'll call it permanent.
That's it. Approval of the minutes from September 6th.
I can,
All in favor?
Aye.
That's his name.
No. Goodrich,
aye.
Levinson,
Aye.
Goodman, aye. Ferguson. All
Aye.
minutes are approved. Any old business? Anyone? Any new business? All right, we're adjourned.
Thanks for hanging in there, Bonnie.
Thank you.
And you too, man.
And,
See you guys.
Hey, Max.